Hello, I'm Jordan Collins, and I'm here today to talk about global warming. This is also a very touchy subject. While it is something that is quite often discussed between everybody, I'm convinced that it is a matter of if it's real or not. But as far as a matter of adapting and learning to live within global warming, according to one of my cited sources, global warming is the phenomena of increasing average air temperature near the surface of the earth over the past 1 to 2 centuries. Climate scientists have, since the mid 20th century, gathering detailed observations of variated weathers and of influence that changes the climates. This data indicates that the Earth climate has changed over most of every timescape since the beginning of the geological time, and it has changed over time since human activity started beginning since the industrial period or industrial revolutionary time. And it started with deeply woven into the very fabric of the climate changes, so it really wasn't talked about as much in the beginning or being known as much. Global warming has become a household term. You may believe that it's real or that you may have your doubts. This discussion will probably never end. In both cases, you will be victimized by the myth of melting, expanding, heat breathing, monster mocking at you from the inside of the ozone hole into the smog of greenhouse gases. You put on a mask to take a breath of oxygen and keep indoors, not to be the air polluted. You are sweating because of the green principle not to switch on an air conditioner during the heat wave. Your head is stuck with global warming horrors of Steve King kind. We used to talk about weather in full and gaps of our conversations. Now we use up to talk about other things like global warming. Well, here goes some more things. I have read the reports on global warming, and it leaves no doubt that yes, global warming exists. Yes, global warming is accelerating. Yes, temperature rising. Yes. So may we need to spend less on the warm clothes. Yes. It is globally inevitable. Live science. Stephanie Papa says that extreme weather is another effect of the global warming. While experiencing some of the hottest summers on record, much of the United States have been experiencing colder than normal winters. I trust all this because I am a consumer of this information, which may be truthful or maybe something else. But truthfully, there is so many reports and scientists who all work to prove their own beliefs as far as like if it's true or not. Global warming may not be real. It is a product of research, intuition, that are interests in high products, like far as like knowledge, like investments. What is called global warming, it is a fact of our ability to listen to the nature that negatively responds to our careness about what's going on. Have you ever connected snow in Africa? Like last summer, exotic experiments with global warming, it is not shown how much of global warming is produced by the industrial practice and how much it is natural. They say that it cause effects to fight against global warming right now just because the framework of cap and trade system pioneer a new carbon economy in order to reduce heat, trapping emissions. Their voices in the wilderness frightens us with the prediction of Cassandra's type. The treat of glaciers is dramatic, and homes of up to 88 million people may have been flooded by the 2080s. More frightening predictions like this can be found in a book called Climate Changes of 2001. Impact, Adaptations, and Vulnerability, edited by J.J. McCarthy and O.F. Kenneth. Those are my cited sources. Also, it may be so that we are adapting to cool summers and warmer winters, as well as we are adapting to the technological advances that we are coming within each year that we pass. When one problem becomes a general concern, something else is missing. What are about waste, environment abuse, current global economy and financial crisis that we are having, even some that are happening today to this time. Isn't global warming, inevitable as far as the effects to learn on how to live globally in peace with ourselves and our natural surroundings? What happens to our thinking that celebrations of the extreme, all these ethers, or instead of arriving at one global strategy, global corporation, we just need to try to find a balance towards each thing. Today, the CO2, the carbonated oxygen, 2 levels are 25% more than they've been in the last 650,000 years. In fact, the last time that the atmosphere was this high was almost 3 million years ago, when the temperatures was 2 to 3 C standard, and higher than pre-industrial area, and sea level was 15 to 25 meters higher than today. A detailed report with a local historical data portrays that the graphs can be found on climate.gov. We intermiss the reduced, but apparently we used to have the periods of higher average temperatures, and the earth is still managing to bounce back and become livable place for billions of people to be a part of. While the ice on Greenland is disappearing, there's another thing that's happening. Glaciers are expanding in Norway, Iceland, and New Zealand, and those are simply not talked about and underestimated. The glaciers is about 30 yards longer than they were last year. Nowadays, there's huge chunks of ice in Norway crawling down the valley. Maybe we should take a look at some of the more positive things that are happening instead of looking so on the other side of what's going on in Norway. I have lived with the concept of global warming, which is a thrust onto me just because I believe that it is going on. I considered buying a new set of clothes, I'm not sure whether it's gonna come where the summer would not surprise me far as like cool mornings or things like that. I'm changing together with my thoughts, adapting to our global inhabitants, to change with declaring, are we not living in a time of change? In conclusion, I do not think the terms whether global warming is real or not. I am living in a reality of today. Dreaming of safety and cooperation while nature that would survive and adapt, while myself may lose the game.